SH Figuarts Dangerous Pride Vegeta. Oh, how I've waited for this day. I've prepared a special roast for this figure. If you want an honest, blunt, transparent review, where the goal is to tell you the truth and not simply to get likes and subscribers, then this review is for you. But if you want me to say thank you, Tamashi, and tell you how good we're eating, then you probably won't like this review very much. Sometimes hearing the truth is a painful process, but it is only through the truth that we can be free. So, is this figure actually worth getting? Does it deserve to be in a line that touts itself as premium? Or is it just another generic, mediocre Bandai release that will be praised as an amazing work of art by the unenlightened masses? All of these questions and more will be answered today. ARC, the floor is yours. Thank you, fancy British voice. Alright guys, today we are reviewing the highly anticipated SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Vegeta Dangerous Pride. Now, to my surprise, I've not seen tons of posts just completely glazing this figure or anything. That might be because the US release date just happened recently and most people who have it would get it from Japan or China or whatever. Or it could be a sign that more people are they have higher artistic standards for these figures and stuff like that. And we'll get into all of that, okay? Now, whether I think you should get this figure or not, my answer might surprise you. So don't click the link in the description yet. Don't go to dbfix.com yet. Just wait and see. I think there are, good and bad things about this figure. And I'm going to try to keep this very organized as far as categorizing the review into the different categories and stuff. So if you want to see a specific thing, you can skip to that. All right. So first of all, let's talk about the price. Now this figure is a so-called budget figure, meaning it's $38 to $40, or the price that SH Figuarts really should generally be anyways. Okay, that's basically what this is. So as far as the price goes, I am totally fine with the price. I don't feel the need to do a scamculation necessarily. I think, as I've said before, I think the $38 to $40 SH Figuarts figures are generally worth the price. But once we start going above that into the let's say $60 range, $70, $80, $100, and more than that kind of range, then we get heavily into scam territory. So thankfully, this is not, I don't think this is in scam territory. All right, that's the price. Next, we're going to talk about the packaging. So the packaging is just your basic, usual SH Figuarts packaging, nothing special here. I will say that for a figure like this, I kind of feel like this would have benefited artistically from having a manga panel or manga art on the front or something, like how the Genki Damatsuri Goku had. I think that would have looked really cool here, although doing that might highlight even more strongly how far below the artistic standard of the manga this figure falls, So there's that. There's a bit of a trade-off there. If SH Figuarts generally actually looked like the source material, then I think having the source material on the box would help. With the Genki Damatsuri Goku, that is not as big of a problem because that figure does have a lot of, shading and detail and stuff. It's got the wounds on there and stuff like that. So having the manga art on there or whatever doesn't make the figure look horrible. You know what I mean? But for something like this, I think having some pristine, high quality manga art on the box would probably highlight too strongly how far away from the source material SH Figuarts generally tend to be. All right, so that's the packaging. Now we're gonna, open the box and then we're gonna talk about the articulation, okay? And how do you all like to open your boxes? I feel like Opening the box on this side is kind of better so you don't really mess up like the photography here, but I just prefer to have like the right side as the way I like take the figure out. So it kind of like opening on the left just feels really odd, so I prefer the right for, you know, I guess practical reasons or whatever. And for those who want to see like, you know, everything the figure has in the box, you know, this is all the stuff in the, you know, clamshell. Okay, now let's look at the accessories. Okay, so it actually has a decent amount of accessories, to be honest. So first, you have this hair right here. This is, I guess, supposed to be windswept. You know, if you compare it to the actual figure, let me just get that. If you compare it to the hair on the figure right there, you can see how it's like a bit more to the side. But I don't think this is windswept enough. I think they really should have given it like, you know, like all the way over here or something to make it just look a bit more dramatic, dynamic, you know, that kind of thing. It's just like, it's just not enough in my opinion. Okay, but at least they included that, so there's that. Next we have these crossed arms right here, okay, which, you know, I guess sculpt wise look fine. There is some like, let's see, some paint there. Like you see some messed up kind of paint there on mine. Okay, also on here you see the white touching the blue right there. Okay, so yeah, not perfect as far as the paint goes. I don't believe they separate. Okay, cool. As for the feet, so this figure also has some interchangeable feet. Okay, so you see here he has these like white boots. Now these are the boots he wore like during the Android saga. He started wearing the gold, these boots here with the gold parts right here. He started wearing these kind of boots after the hyperbolic time chamber. Okay, so that is the distinction here. Okay, you know, it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool that they included that, so you can have two different looks for Vegeta. I think in the Metal Cooler movie he had like the white boots like this. So if DB Toys does actually make an affordable Metal Cooler, I'll probably get that, and I might consider actually making some animation for that movie. Okay, continuing now with the face sculpts. So we have this right here, this yelling face sculpt. Okay, you've got that. I'm going to get into the face sculpts in more detail later, but I'm just showing you what's included right now. Then you have this right here. Okay, you have this. All right, and then you have this. Okay, so those are the face sculpts included apart from the one on the figure. Of course, this one is looking to the side. It seems it's kind of like not strongly to the side. It's a little bit of something here. I don't know if that's gonna, you know, be removable or not. I'm not sure. And then as far as on the figure itself, we have this. Can I get it to, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so on the figure itself we have this right here. Okay, and let me take the plastic off. And you also have like these fists. Okay, so you've got that. So I do think it has a good amount of accessories. Okay, so I don't think Bandai, like, you know, cheaped out as far as what this figure includes. It will be great to see them offer this level of value for like all their figures and not just the so-called budget ones. Okay, oh wait, I forgot to show the hands. Okay, so apart from the fists that are on the actual figure, you also get these hands right here, which I assume are like, you know, they're kind of like the Big Bang attack. Okay, and I think these might be new, like a new sculpt compared to previous Vegeta figures that have had stuff like this. I believe so. They look pretty good. I like the sculpt of these. Then we have these hands here. Okay, right. Then we have these hands, which are a bit more like grabbing, I guess, kind of hands. Okay, and finally we have these kind of like, you know, martial arts pose kind of hands. Okay, cool. Now let's talk about the articulation. Okay, so as far as the, you know, head sculpt goes, it looks up that much, down that much. I don't think the neck can go further than that. right? Which is decent, you know. Looking up is not great, but looking down, I think, is a bit better, right? Rotates all the way around, of course, 360 there. You've got, you know, side to side, like that, and like that, okay? As for the chest, let's see how far forward that can go. You know, goes like that. And then it goes back, let's see, goes back that much. So not very good range there, honestly, kind of disappointing. I expected more. The front is not that bad, but going back is like, I don't know. It's like that should be better, you know? Then do we have rotation here? It looks like there is some rotation here, but I don't know if it's a 360 and I don't want to risk it. Side to side, no side to side on that. Let's see now, arms, of course, full 360 there. You've got this joint here. How far up can it go? Can go about that much, right? And then butterfly joint, how far forward? Let's see. It goes this far forward, which is like that right there. So that's pretty good, although it's not like I'm not amazed, because I mean the box has this whole thing about dynamic movable shoulder system, you know, so I thought it would be like crazier, but it's like, you know, it's good, but it's not like, I don't think it's crazy enough to put that thing on the box. Like, dude, this is dynamic, you know what I mean? Like, so let's see how far, you know, you can go like that, okay, which is good. I just don't think it's like that amazing compared to what I've seen on other figures or anything like that. And then for the biceps, swivel, of course, 360 there. Double jointed elbows. Okay, cool. Let's see the waist. Probably a full 360, I would assume, on the waist here. Yep, full 360. Now let's see how high up his leg can go. Is this soft? This part here? I think, yeah, I think it is soft actually. Yeah, that part is soft. That part is the like, you know, this like waist piece here is actually a soft material. You get in the camera. That is actually a soft material there, so that is good. Let's see how high up he can kick. Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. That is very, very good. Yeah, that's very good. You know, one thing I worry about, I wonder if this like, you know, rubbery material will like endure for many years. Like 10 years from now, are we going to see this thing like degrading and falling apart and stuff? You know, I wonder about that, but this is fantastic articulation, man. That is, yeah, that's very, very good. I am actually impressed with that. So good job on that right there. I do like that. Let's see the knees, double jointed knees. Okay, cool. Surprising this has double jointed knees when Games Begin Goku has like single jointed, I think. So anyways, as far as side to side goes, let's see how far out he can go. It can go out like this, so you know, pretty much a full split, although I think slightly less than a full split. I could perhaps, you know, I don't want to like risk breaking that or anything, so you know, there's that. Okay, and then what else is there? So is there a boot swivel? There actually is a bit of boot swivel, it seems, but it's like so minuscule. I don't know why that's there, but there is a bit of boot swivel going on. Kind of strange. Why not give it a full, you know, 360 or something like that? I don't know. And then we have these. Are these like legendary Super Saiyan Goku? I think so. Possibly, but you don't really get that great, you know, range or anything from that. Going back, you got that much. If you do this, you got this much, so not a lot. And then of course the toe hinge right there. Ankle rocker is very, very good. Very good on the ankle rocker right there. Okay, so that's it for the articulation. Let's now move on to the face sculpt analysis. All right, so for face sculpt analysis, basically what I want to do is compare these face sculpts, or at least some of them, to art of Vegeta and stuff like that, and see how well this figure captures the art. All right, so first we have this kind of like, you know, smirking expression here. Okay, you have that, and I will say there are some gaps going on there, okay, on the sides there, right? But anyways, so you've got this. Now, does this capture this? Let me see. I would say no, right? It doesn't really have the, like, you know, artistic beauty that this has, right? It doesn't really capture the feeling of this very well. So I do think that, you know, Bandai's done a pretty basic job with this stuff. Like, you know, it doesn't really feel like the source material. It feels very, very generic, you know, very basic stuff basically. So no, I would not say that that captures this very well, okay? Here's another example. This is from the manga, I believe. I think this is Super Vegeta though, not just regular Super Saiyan Vegeta. And would you say that this right here, let's get a good look, that, you know, really captures the artistic presence of this? Of course not, you know, obviously not, okay? So yeah, SH Figuarts should be capturing the art, but clearly this has not accomplished that, okay? So anyone saying that these things look spot on or whatever, dude, just show them the art, man, okay? This is not a good representation of the art. It's very, very generic stuff. It doesn't have this artistic presence, okay? Here we have another piece of art, I believe from the manga as well, okay? So look at that, and then look at this, right? You can see the artistic difference. This is a bit more simple, a bit more generic, a bit more bland, and this looks awesome. You know, imagine if you had a figure that actually looked like this in the face sculpt, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, so yeah, that's why personally I'm really hoping that Recustom does make their face sculpts and stuff so I can use those instead of, you know, this stuff right here. Okay, so I do not think this is a great representation of something like this. Okay, it's just not, man. All right, so the last comparison is going to be the kind of neutral expression here, and I have significant, like, this thing just, like, I don't know, it's just not, you know, inserting well. It's not like staying in place. It just fell out. Okay, all right, so yeah, I tried to get it a bit more seamless there, but anyways, this face sculpt as well for me has some QC problems, man. Like, this is a bit of flashing going on here. I think that's what people call that. And this mark right here, not sure what's going on with that, but anyway, so this is the neutral expression, okay, looking to the side, of course, right? Now, do you think that this captures this extremely well? You know, like, you can tell that it's supposed to look like that, but does it really have the same artistic presence as this? Of course not. It's very, very basic stuff, okay? So yeah, I'd say nope. Regarding these face sculpts, if I had to rate them out of 10, probably like a 6.5 possibly, you know, so yeah. All right, now let's look at the teeth gridded face sculpt here. I decided to just hold the face sculpt because changing these out, dude, is pretty tedious. They have this new system, like, you gotta, like, actually, like, the face sculpts now, dude, they just, like, kind of slot in, like, upwards, and even, like, getting them out of here is kind of tedious. Hold on, like that. Okay, so it's, the hair is like one solid piece, and you've got to, like, put them in like this. And then of course they have this new thing where the peg, you know, this part is on the back, it doesn't go straight up anymore, so you got to do that. And you got to put it, just like it doesn't feel as seamless as, like, you know, the 2.0 was. Like, let me show you, like, this, for example, how you would, like, you know, take this stuff off right here and just, like, change that part out. You know, I think that was a lot better, a lot easier to use. So not really liking that style of, you know, technology or whatever. So let's just look at the teeth gridded face sculpt here. Let me just, I guess, may as well put this here right now. Let's see, trying to do this looking through the camera. All right, hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so let's look at this, right? This teeth grade expression right here. And I mean, this is actually pretty much exactly like what I'm going to show you from the manga. Okay, my camera just glitched, and this is pretty much exactly like what I'm going to show you from the manga. Okay, so look at this, and then look at this, right? Do you think this is some like amazing artistic representation of this? Of course not, okay? Of course not, man. Of course not. Okay, so Bandai just does not, they don't put in as much effort as they should be for a line that they call premium and all this stuff, dude. Like, nah, man, this is like, you know, not very good stuff. Look at this, okay? If you wear glasses, put your glasses on. If you wear contacts, use your contacts. Look at this, and then look at this, and tell me, right, if this captures this very well. Obviously, the answer is no, okay? Now, finally, we have the yelling expression right here, okay? So, look at this and tell me whether it captures this, okay? Obviously not, man, okay? So, yeah, I think these face sculpts are basically an L, basically a massive L, okay? And I just noticed this has a bit of flashing going on right there also, okay? This face sculpt right here. And I think it might be my fault. I think I didn't like, you know, put the face sculpt or the head sculpt on properly before, because I heard a click this time, so that might be my fault there, you know? Yeah, okay. I also have this black mark on this hair sculpt. Let me see if that can, okay, that went away, okay. All right, so the last part of this review is what I'm gonna call artistic value. Basically, how good do I think this figure is from an artistic point of view? First of all, regarding the shading and detail, I mean, I can't really see much. I don't even know if there is any shading on this thing, man, like anywhere. There might be, and the thing is, like, if there is and I just can't really tell, that shows that it's just so minuscule, it's not even worth mentioning, okay? So poor shading, nothing really to speak of there. As far as the shape of the body goes, I think like I more or less like the sculpt of the body. I just think like this section right here is a bit too wide. I wish it had a bit more of a, like, I guess tapered look like you see with the 2.0, okay? But apart from that, I think the sculpt of the body is pretty good. Of course, you know, regarding the face sculpts, I don't think these do a very good job at capturing the source material at all. Like, they're just very, very basic kind of stuff, you know what I mean, man? So overall, if I had to rate this out of 10 overall as a figure artistically, I'd say it's like, I feel like saying like a 6.5 once again. You know what, no shading though, let's just say 6. I'd rate this like a 6 out of 10. So last of all, do I think you should get this figure? I would say if you want a Super Saiyan Vegeta, then yes, because it's not a scam or anything necessarily. Only like $38, $40, that kind of price range, you know. So I think for that price, it's okay. It's a good purchase to get, you know what I mean? It's like, it's basically worth the money, I think. But as far as if you want, like, you know, high level artistic stuff, it's not going to deliver that. I would say I personally, the main reason I got this is because I'm waiting for Recustom, hopefully, to make their like more manga style head sculpts and stuff that I can use on this. And that I think would make this figure a lot better. So that's what I think about it. If you want an affordable Super Saiyan Vegeta figure, it's a good option. Now, whether it's actually better than this though, that's another question that I will be answering in basically a part 2 to this video, where we're going to be comparing the 2.0 to the 3.0, okay? So expect that comparison in the near future. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.